Hello, I am the Irish guy, and right, Premier League Game Week 17 predictions. Lads, I broke the streak last week. I got 0 results right for the first time this season, but please, tell me that's going to change. Normal service will resume. Same again. If I do not get at least 1 correct prediction this weekend, then I will pour a bucket of ice over my head. Right, let's go. Nottingham Forest 0, Tottenham 2. Yeah. For all those who like staring at Steve Cooper's face every week, then I have some bad news for you. Look, I have a lot of respect for the work this man has done at Forest, and I genuinely believe he should be interviewed for the England job after Euro 2024. I know I say a lot of mean things, like that his face looks like a plate of undercooked shepherd's pie. I know half the time I'm just constantly confused how he's on a Premier League pitch instead of ringing the bells at Notre Dame. Well, let's get it right. Cooper has been a fantastic Forest boss, but right now he is skating on thin ice with the owner. Listen, Spurs look like they've got their mojo back. Richarlison has finally shown that he has some morsels of self-confidence running through his blood. So yeah, I see nothing other than a clinical, powerful Tottenham performance. A pretty comfy 2-0 win. Richarlison and Son with the goals. And Cooper is getting binned on Monday afternoon. He's going to be so rightly paranoid that yeah, when his phone rings, he'll probably feel like a babysitter answering the phone on a screen film. Sorry Cooper, but you are gone. Bournemouth 3, Luton 2. Lads, Bournemouth are class. Finally, after everybody was laughing and mocking Indoni Iraola for failing to win the first 9 league games of the season, as Bournemouth boss, oh guess what? If the Cherries beat Luton on Saturday, then they will have collected 16 points from the last available 18. I said they could qualify for Europe next season. I mean, forget that. If they keep up this insane run of form, they could be squeaking into the Europa Conference League this year. And Indoni Iraola is absolutely the real deal. And I'm sorry, but I see nothing other than an easy Bournemouth win. 3-0 with goals from Dominic Solanke, Justin Kluivert, and Luis Sinisterra. Absolutely done. And lads, I'm going to say this. If Bournemouth don't beat Luton this weekend, then I will leave 15 oranges on camera. Christ, well, I think I developed such an unhealthy amount of scurvy. I'd probably have to chop off my foot with an axe. Chelsea 2, Sheffield United 1. Lads, Mauricio Pochettino must be afraid. I'm not being goofy. He must be. This is a man who lost his job at Tottenham immediately after failing to beat Sheffield United at home. And lads, he had massive credit in the bank. He just led Spurs to a Champions League final just 6 months before. Right now, there are Chelsea fans ringing up the radio and telling anyone who would listen that they want Jose Mourinho back. Lads, it's almost 4 years to the month that Pochettino was replaced by Mourinho after failing to beat the Blades at home. A 1-1 draw with Chris Wilder's men left Tottenham 12th in the league. Yeah. Look where Chelsea are now. I'm not saying that Todd Bowley will shove Pochettino into a greasy rubbish bin if they fail to win this match, but I would imagine that the Argentine boss is probably having a nervously sweaty cup of tea. This won't even be a convincing win. Pochettino's nerves will translate to the rest of the team. They'll all be terrified squeaky bunny rabbits, and I think Sheffield United will take the lead for an early Cameron Archer goal. The crowd will get restless. The Chelsea players will almost be fainting under such horrible pressure. At halftime, Pochettino will just be sitting on his phone, scrolling through Gumtree looking for a new house in Spain. So yeah, 2 late goals from Nicholas Jackson and Enzo Fernandez, a 2-1 Chelsea win. It reminds me of January 2009 when Big Phil Scolari was an under pressure Chelsea manager, and a month before he got the sack, needed 2 very late goals from Giuliano Belletti and Frank Lampard to squeak out a 2-1 win over newly promoted Stoke, who also play in red and white stripes. This is going to be very similar. Man City 4, Crystal Palace 0. Lads, I know Crystal Palace have had good shock wins at the Etihad in the past, but that was back when Roy Hodgson had some semblance of energy and hunger for the job, instead of nowadays where he probably just daydreaming through his own matches. I mean, you reckon this man is bellowing out passionate tactical instructions at half time? Again, no, he's probably just needing a jumper in the corner of the room, while telling his backroom staff all about the time he bumped into Abraham Lincoln down the shops. I'm sorry, but this is going to be an easy City win. 4-0, Bernardo Silva with 2, Phil Foden and Julian Alvarez with the others. Just yeah, win. Newcastle 1, Fulham 0. Lads, this is weird. 10 days ago, Newcastle and Fulham had completely opposite goal differences. Newcastle were plus 32, Fulham plus 11. Yeah, there's been a 16 goal swing since, after Newcastle lost by 3 at Everton and Spurs, and Fulham won 5-0 twice in a row. Right now, Eddie Howe is probably so nervous about seeing Marco Silva this weekend, who is the informed boss in the Premier League. 2 5-0 wins in a row. It's absolutely bonkers. Well lads, I hate to say this, but every time Fulham travel to St James's Park, it's usually a drab, ugly watch. Last season it was a last minute 1-0 win for Newcastle in January. Before that, in 2020, it was a boring 1-1 draw before Christmas. Before that was a terrible 0-0 draw just 3 days before Christmas of 2018. And then in April 2013 and August 2013, it was 2 1-0 wins for Newcastle at St James's Park. There was a 2-1 Newcastle win in August 2011. Leon Best with both, but a 0-0 in November 2010, a 1-0 win for Fulham in May 2009, a 2-0 win for Newcastle in March 2008. I could go on and on and on. The last time these two played out a Premier League match at this ground where there was more than 3 goals was a 3-1 win for Newcastle in January 2004. Yeah, Lauren Rivera scored an insane bicycle kick. Yeah, he's now a fat PSG coach who's 4 years off 50 and probably addicted to cheese baguettes. So honestly, do not expect goals in this fixture. It never works. There were 52,000 Geordies piled into St James's Park to excitedly watch Michael Owen's debut against Fulham, expecting a hat-trick. Oh no, ugly 1-1 draw, where Charles Nzogby a free kick had to rescue a point. Anyone remember him? These fixtures are always low scoring, horrible matches. Newcastle versus Fulham is one of the most historically boring, worst Premier League matches of all time. It's never fun to watch, not at this ground. So yeah, sorry, 1-0, Callum Wilson with the winner. Horrible game. Trust me, if there are more goals, if there are more than 3 goals in this match, then I will dye my hair blonde. Burnley 0, Everton 3. Oh, lads, Sean Dyche would have been waiting for this game for months. As soon as this fixture list was announced, this man would have circled this weekend and salivated over it. As if he was looking at a pie filled with worms, Dyche's the man hell-bent on some Django-esque revenge mission. I mean, you reckon he still has warmth in his heart for Burnley after they ungratefully binned him off after nearly 10 years in the job and just 2 months before the end of the season. The fact that Burnley did not trust him with seeing out a relegation fight, oh, that would have hurt him massively. The absolute lack of faith the Burnley board had in him to keep them up again, instead placing their faith in Michael Jackson. No, not the disgraced king of pop rotting in a grave. No, it was just some failed Shrewsbury coach. Dyche would have felt perfectly insulted, and Vince Company is the new, younger, more progressive, beautiful, modern, advanced football manager, right? The new model. So Dyche shaking hands with him. Oh, this would be like a bitter divorced mum of 5 bumping into her ex-husband out to lunch with that receptionist who's half his age. Oh, the angry mother is going to be this close to flicking a giant snot in the homewrecker champagne glass. Dyche will be desperate to win, and he will. This will be the Toffees' best performance of the season. 2 goals from Dwight McNeil, 1 from Abdoulaye Doucouré. They're going to blow Burnley out of the park. This will be the Toffees' 4th win in a row and their 8th in 11 league games. That is mental work. That's like David Moyes at Everton. Arsenal 2, Brighton 1. This will be another terrifyingly nervous game for Arsenal. This is a club who are making a nasty habit out of making hard work of beatable teams, right? 1 goal wins over Nottingham Forest, Crystal Palace, Everton, okay, Man City, but Brentford, Wolves, Luton, and Sevilla, they are just nicking late wins against some of those teams, so they should be blowing out of the water. And yeah, I reckon this is going to be identical to the home matches with Forest and Wolves. Arsenal will go 2-0 up in the first half. Goals from Bukayo Saka and Martin Odegaard, but Brighton will pull one back in the second half through an informed Simon Adingra. And then it'll just be a case of the Gunners desperately holding on for life. I think they'll see a red card. Someone like Jorginho will get sent off for a wild, stupid whack on someone. And yeah, Brighton will hit the post, hit the crossbar. David Raya will have to make a couple of world-class saves. I mean, if you're an Arsenal fan attending this match, be warned. It's going to be a scary final 20 minutes. Brentford 1, Aston Villa 1. Look, I know that everybody is loving Aston Villa right now, and everyone wants to see how far they can push this weird title challenge. I'm sure everybody is backing them to beat injury-riddled Brentford, but no. This usually happens. When a popular Premier League underdog starts to go on a wild run of wins, they do stumble where you don't expect it. I remember Leicester City back in 2016. Don't forget, after Christmas, they picked up just 6 points from a possible 15. There was a 0-0 draw in newly promoted Bournemouth at home. 10 days later, it was ironically a 1-1 draw at Aston Villa, a club who are rock bottom of the league and one of the worst Premier League sides of all time. They looked like costly, horrible results. Honestly, that Leicester team dropped points a lot that season. Imagine trying to win the Premier League title against Pep Guardiola when you've dropped points against Tottenham, Stoke, Southampton, Man City, Aston Villa, West Brom, West Ham, Chelsea, both Man United and Bournemouth home and away. Oh yeah, and you lost to Arsenal twice. No chance. Nowadays, that points haul of 81 would get you 3rd in the league at best. Sorry, Leicester. But yeah, similarly, Villa, just like Leicester, with the weight of the world on them, the pressure of being everyone's second team, nah, it's too much. They'll trip up here. An early goal from Ollie Watkins against his old club, but then it'll be a nervous Villa second half display. Yohan Wissa will equalise. Just a frustrating watch. West Ham 2, Wolves 0. Wolves do not have a good record at West Ham. They've lost on the last 3 visits to this ground without even scoring a single goal. The last time Wolves scored a goal at West Ham, when there were fans in the ground to see, was nearly 5.5 years ago. That 93rd minute goal from Adama Traore in September 2018 was the only time Wolves have scored a goal away to West Ham in front of fans, so lockdown doesn't count. Before that was a 3-1 win at Upton Park in March 2010. That is mental. So this will be another time where Wolves fail to score at West Ham away. 2 goals from Jared Bowen. The end. Enough said. Lads, let's make a deal. For every goal the Wolves scored against West Ham this weekend, I will slap myself in the face with a cereal box. They have sharp corners. Liverpool 3, Brentford 1. Look, I know that Man United fans will be angry that I have tipped you to lose, but I am sorry. Your record against Liverpool in recent years is appalling. On your last 2 visits to Anfield, you conceded 11 goals and scored none. That is pathetic beyond belief. In 4 of your last 5 games against Liverpool, you've conceded at least 4 goals. That is absolute garbage. Anfield has become one of the scariest and most traumatic stadiums in the world for Man United. Do you reckon any Liverpool fans have any real fear here? And lads, apparently the new stand is going to be open, so this will be the biggest attendance at Anfield for more than 50 years for a demoralised Man United, who just meekly slumped out of the Champions League, finishing bottom of the group. It's terrible. That is so bad. And yeah, without Harry Maguire, without Bruno Fernandes, I think if you were offered a 3-1 defeat at Anfield now, you'd probably take it. I reckon it'll be a little at half time, but it'll open up in the second half. Goals from Cody Gakpo, Mo Salah and Trent, with Alejandro Garnacho scoring a late consolation goal. Honestly lads, if Manchester United win this match, I will shove a handful of mud in my mouth. Anyway, that's it for what you let me know what you know. Let me know in the comments. Put your predictions down below. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give it a like as always. I'll talk to you in a while.